are sustainable. But at Chelsea Football Club, those results just are not sustainable. Not winning the FA Cup against us, you know, is a sackable offence in Chelsea's mindset. And then where they are now, they're ninth for the table. You know, was it a point above us or something? No, a couple of points above Arsenal. Yeah. Now, ninth for the table. Obviously, if you look at it logically, they're in a catastrophic state because they're 11 points behind the leaders, Man United. Mm-hmm. And Man City are on 38 points. They've got a game in hand on Chelsea. So, again, those results in terms of him challenging for the league in his second season, they're not sustainable for Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. But for me, that's what I'm saying. You know, go back 18 months ago when Chelsea were in a transfer embargo, couldn't go out and buy anyone. No top manager wanted the job because they didn't want to come in with that team as it was, knowing that they had to sit there for more or less 2 years before they could start getting their team sorted out and buying players. Because, you know, let's be real, Chelsea have got the money to go and get whatever manager they wanted, but no manager wanted to take it. That's why they had to look at Frank.
I hear what you're saying. If you look at the situation, I think that first season with Chelsea having the transfer embargo, that was going to be, you know, Frank's season where he was going to be allowed to be bedded in. There's other managers who have gone to Chelsea who haven't been allowed that time. Remember, Solari, Scolari, the Brazilian World Cup winner. He went to Chelsea. He didn't last the full year. He was jettisoned after after about 6 months. The same thing with Villas-Boas. He's had the same situation where he was jettisoned after 6 months. Lampard, because of the transfer embargo, because they couldn't buy the players, he was given that free season. And let's face it, you know, Man United did the double over them. You know, they obviously did double over Spurs. Remember, we managed to get a result. We managed to get a draw there with 10 men. But there's other results where you look at it and you think, yeah, they're not really Chelsea results, but they did manage to sneak into the top, managed to, you know, finally hold on to the top 4 place. So that is respectable. But the next season was always been a season where he had to challenge for the league. That is Chelsea Football Club in a nutshell, because he's a victim of the fact that because Chelsea saved money with the transfer embargo, they were able to spend big on Werner, spend big on Havertz, spend big on Ziyech, and that was probably his downfall because he hasn't able to get them settled into the team. He still hasn't got a settled defence, and the goalkeeping situation is still 6s and 7s, and they've all kind of proved costly. But it's the thing with when you watch Chelsea play, and you compare it to the Chelsea you watched under Ancelotti, Chelsea under Mourinho, and to a certain extent, Conte as well. There was a team there. Everyone in that team knows their jobs. It wasn't a lopsided team. But when you look at Frank's teams, they're very lopsided. Like, you know, he's gone for Reece James ahead of Azpilicueta. But Reece James, very good going forward. But defensively, he's been part of the problem. Then you've got a situation where he doesn't know whether his centre-halves, it's always going to be like, you know, Silva and someone else. Yet someone like, Rudiger can't get a game, you know, and there's other defenders who've been doing okay jobs, but he's been chopping and changing his defence. You know, Christensen can't get a game. You know what I mean? And It's one of those things where it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable for Chelsea Football Club. They have to challenge now. You have to find a way to get those players playing. Now, at Arsenal, right, every other club, right, Arsenal, you'll get time. Solskjaer at Man United has got time in bedding these players in. But yeah, the defender I forgot to mention was Kurt Zouma, who's actually done okay, but not okay enough to sustain his place under Frank. But, you know, Man City, a Man City manager gets those results, he's going to be sacked as well. So that's the problem we have in football, is that Chelsea Football Club, as Petr Cech said when he was at Arsenal, if you get a draw at Chelsea, it's a funeral situation, as Tony would confirm.
Yeah, as everyone can see, we've got Tony Rolfe here, the Chelsea SW6 man, our man from Chelsea. How you doing, Tony? Hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm sat right now. I'm sat in the car, freezing
You
me
outside
nuts off.
Stamford
I'm
Bridge?
on my driveway, so hopefully I'm coming. Yeah, well, it's my Stamford Bridge. Um, no, I'm outside, outside my home, on my driveway because I've got 4 kids under the age of 10, well, 10 and under, and honestly, mate, the noise they've been making, because they're all off and fucking snow and all that one. So they're in and out, and the house, So I just said, look, I'm gonna just jump on the driveway here, but I've got the lights on. I don't even see me and all that. Got the
Yeah,
floods
yeah.
on. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I watched back that earlier stream we done, so when there was parts of it, weren't there, where the audio weren't great. And,
Yeah.
so hopefully it's going to be better this time around, and people can hear us loud and clear.
We can hear you loud and clear, mate.
Yeah,
We can
Yeah,
hear you
you're
loud.
loud too, Tony. I think
I
it's
just
yeah.
want to.
In the car, mate. In the car.
I just want to
I
quickly
hope
bring
it's
up
warm.
that.
In it.
Obviously, on Sky Sports News just a minute ago, Gary Cockrell is outside or there at Stamford Bridge, and he's reporting that it was an absolute brutal way that they've got rid of Frank. He wasn't allowed in a training ground to say goodbye or anything. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Tone, as a club legend?
Well, it's not good at all, is it? Not good at all. And as I said before, regarding that, that's terrible. I've got to tell you, that's terrible, and I don't like that. But we are ruthless. We're a ruthless club, and I make no apologies for that factor. That's why, as Kenny rightfully said earlier, it's not me taking the piss or whatever. We've won one. Not finishing second and runners up, 25 trophies in 25 years. Not going on about it, Ken, but there's a reason behind that philosophy because we don't take no shit and we act, and we've got rid of Carlo Ancelotti listen, Roman, apparently, now the story goes, I don't know how true it was, but when we got rid of Carlo Ancelotti, it was the last game of the season away at Everton. And you've got to remember, the year before that, we won our first league and cup double, our first double, yeah? And we played incredible football under Carlo. In fact, probably the best football we played, full stop. We were smashing teams for 7s and 8s, you probably remember. And the following year, obviously, it wasn't so good, but apparently Roman was 20 miles already down the motorway, and I just said, "Wax him." He's gone, and he got waxed in the tunnel, at Everton, and that's what we do. Roberto Di Matteo. I'll tell you what done him no famous. When Roberto walked up them steps, doing the right thing, up the steps, and he was all that in his face. I did it. I did it. I'm thinking, you're off. You just
We all thought that.
the guy. Yeah, you don't do that, do you? I mean, we're talking about Roman Abramovich. You don't amass £12 billion from nothing out of nowhere. Right? He was a market trader, remember, right? And he doesn't suffer fools gladly. He, if you look at the way we market ourselves as a club, I've said this millions of times before. Don't forget, with 17,500 fewer seats than Arsenal, we turn over more than you as a club. How'd you work that one out? Well, I'll tell you, because our marketing is ruthless. The way he goes around the world and set our stall out, he doesn't. He's guys.
You know what? His Wi-Fi is worse than close.
I'm not.
That's saying something, that isn't it?
Frank Lampard. It was one of them moments where after it's Frank, I mean, one of that, there's people now posting things up like, "Are you happy now? You've got what you want is." And
Oh, we've lost you again there, Tone. I mean, Ken, he was asking you about something. Do you want to come back at him with that, Ken?
sorry, I didn't hear any of that.
Tony's 100% right. Me and Tony, we've known each other for 5 years, and we always discuss that their methods
Mate.
have worked for them in terms of the fact that they have jettisoned managers, but at the end of the day, it's very likely that come May, Chelsea will be parading the FA Cup. That is a likely scenario because that's what Chelsea do. Sack a manager, go through all the crises, they become the news because of the big decision. Everyone's shocked. The players respond because that's what they do. Anyone who's involved in Chelsea Football Club, particularly players, they're used to the fact that that it's highly likely they won't be working with that coach a long term. So there's not really many attachments. I think probably younger players like Mason Mount, for instance, maybe players like Reece James, and maybe players like Tammy Abraham are going to be attached to Frank. Tomori, obviously I thought Tomori would be one of Frank's men, but Tomori, can't get into the team. He sent Tomori out on loan. So there are going to be some players going to be attached, but if you're someone like, Azpilicueta, he's seen this happen before. He's been at the club for about nearly 9 years. He's seen managers come and go.
Yeah, no, I agree. We've got Diesel with us. How you doing, Diesel? Hope you're well, mate.
Yeah, all good, mate. Thank you. All good. Yeah, Ken, I haven't seen you in a while, mate. Hope you're well.
I'm okay. It's one of those things.
Yeah,
where,
that's right.
Chelsea are the club for us, isn't it?
Slightly out of sync there.
It's the way we operate.
No, I think Tony's still trying to say.
Oh, go on, Chan. Sorry, mate. Go on.
Well, it's just the way we operate as a football club. You can't sit here and deny that's how we roll. And people don't like it. They say it's crass. It's so many fucking people have been sending me messages today. You can imagine most of them like Tottenham mates and stuff like that. And yes, I do have a few, and they're like, class us again and all that sort of stuff. And I just actually there's a video doing the rounds right now. Have you seen it on social media where it's a Tottenham fan? Yeah, well, have you seen that video that's doing the rounds on social media? It's a Tottenham supporter. He's in a car and he turns up at the gates at Stamford Bridge today. Taxi for Lampard and all that shit. You know what I mean? They just think, have a word with yourself. You know what I mean? But it's the way we operate. You can't lose 5 out of 6 games or whatever it was, in the same way that Mourinho lost 9 out of 13. Do you remember? And it does feel flat because it's Frank Lampard. I'm not going to lie. But we were always going to face this day no matter what, whether it was 5, 10, or next year. It was going to be a point where he was going to leave or be sacked. And that's just life, isn't it? It's reality. It's just a little bit.
It is life.
It's quite drastic, but then is it drastic? I think it's probably. Well, I think if it.
Yeah, I think Tone.
I think if it had been anybody else, I think probably a lot of our supporters would have been quite happy for whoever to have been sacked after losing, 5 games out of 6. But the point is in the nuts a little bit, doesn't it? But yeah, listen, the club goes on. You know what I mean? And the high standards, and they want to be in the Champions League next season. Chelsea, they don't want to lose that 30 odd million, 40 odd million. Well, it's 50 million, isn't it? Minimum. So it's massive. They look at it right now and they think we've got to act, because I don't think we've been that great this season. And I'm not being super critical of Frank. I think he's chopped and changed far too much. There's a lot of players playing out of positions. A lot of players, their body languages aren't right. And I think there is an issue somewhere inside that dressing room, because you don't go 14 games undefeated and then go, you can't buy a win. And we aren't playing the same way. Players have total lack of confidence. And yes, they are kids and they're going to go up and down, aren't they? Because that's the nature of the beast. But I just feel that there's got to be some explanation. You don't suddenly lose form altogether, do you? It's far too drastic. So I think what they've done is we've got the Champions League still to go. With all intents and purposes, we should get past Barnsley in the 5th round of the Cup. So that takes, do you know what I mean? So they're probably thinking, well, maybe we'll strike now. There's no supporters about, are there really, apart from the ones online? And they're going to moan anyway. So,
Exactly.
it is what it is, isn't it? It's a very competitive league this year, where you only need 4 or 5 wins, and all of a sudden you're in contention for the title. I mean, Man United out of nowhere, it's proof enough of that. So,
for me, I don't know about everyone else, but I think the worst thing that could have happened for Frank Lampard personally is getting the money to go out and buy players. Because before he done that, the team that he was bringing through, all these young players, they was all connecting with one another. Because let's be real, going back to last season, under Frank, looking at Tammy Abrams being your main striker at the time when he first done that, everyone was laughing. But all these players got together, they was doing the job, and I think the worst part really was getting the money. And he's gone out and got these players, and they're not done it for him. They're not done it for him because let's be honest, is what I'm saying. You can't blame Frank.
Can I be totally honest with you?
Go on, mate.
No, well, you are right, and that's going to be one of the reasons why a lot of people are going to say that. He's got added pressure because of the money spent. But I think there's a lot of nonsense spoken about that, to tell you the truth, and I'll tell you for why. Because in terms of the football club, we never really spent much at all. I think we net spending, in the end, about 3 million. So yeah, we spent 200 million, but look at the money we brought back in. People forget that we ended up with 85 million from Eden Hazard, plus another 50 million in add-ons. We had 50 million coming back from Morata. Remember that Atletico had to pay us. We had 37 million pounds coming in loan players that clubs were paying us in loan payments. We sold another player for 20 odd million, and we had another few here and there, 6 and 5s and 4s and all that sort of stuff. Plus, we had the Champions League money, and we never spent the year before. Because of the transfer ban. So I think if it doesn't really cost, it's not. A lot of people say, well, Roman backed Lampard. Well, he spent what we got back in, and we hadn't really been. We haven't really been spending massively, in the last 5 years.
Yeah, but Tone, the thing is, Tone,
you spent more than us.
Hey, but Tone, what we're saying from the outside looking in, those are the top players.
There's a lot of them.
You've got
emphasis on that 200 million pounds.
Oh, sorry, you can't hear us, silly. Can you hear us, Tone?
I can.
Yeah. What I think from an outside of looking in, Tone, the fact of the matter is even though you're saying that money he hasn't really spent because that's money that you saved from last season, you have spent over £70 million on about 3 players, and the thing is that Lampard still hasn't been able to bed them in because, as we all know, at Chelsea Football Club, you don't have time to do that. You have to. Frank has never had an identifiable way of playing football, and it was very muddled last season. But because they had good players and the enthusiasm of the youth, they got through. But this season was always the second season syndrome was always going to be difficult for Frank in terms of the fact that other teams were going to get stronger. And I think that's where Frank's his problem. He had to sort out the defence. He has never sorted out the defence. The situation with Kepa as well, he hasn't sorted it out. And that's been his downfall. That really has been his downfall. You can't keep on experimenting because it's not Arsenal. We've got a manager called Mikel Arteta where people like Tell say, trust the process. You don't have that at Chelsea. You have to win today. Lampard has to have sorted that out in the summer, and he's had to get an identifiable plane. Yes, there's extenuating circumstances. Because of COVID, you can't go on these little tours and blah, blah, go abroad to China, go to Ireland, all over the country because of travel embargoes, and bed in a team and get a start of playing. What we had to do during that period was having friendlies with other Premiership teams. We're not too far from us because of the COVID-19. But all intents and purposes, he has spent over £200 million. And he still hasn't got an identifiable way of playing. When you don't have an identifiable way of playing football, the results are not going to be sustainable, and it's not going to be enough of a challenge for for the championship, and it could get you out of the top 4. So the club had to act now, and that is down to Frank Lampard. The only thing keeping Frank Lampard at Chelsea was his legendary status.
Hold up, Ken. How can it be down to Frank Lampard? Right, this is what I'm saying. Who's gone out and bought a world-class player in most people's eyes, especially a lot of Arsenal fans who would have loved us to get Werner. Not me, but a lot of fans would have loved to get Werner, right? And he's missed how many open goals this season? I'd say 4 or 5.
I hear you, but it's the results though. That
I know it's the results. What I'm saying is,
it's not going to cut it at Chelsea. Don't tell.
He's missed 4 or 5 open goals.
I hear you, and you are right.
Or second from top. Do you know what I mean? So then all this situation we're talking now would never have arose.
Yeah. So I hear Tom. All right, Tom, I hear what you're saying. But you look at the Leicester game. He's chopping and changing with the right back. He's chopping and changing with Azpilicueta and Reece James. He's got experience with Azpilicueta, but because Azpilicueta hasn't got the legs to, auxiliate the attack or put those beautiful crosses in, he's gone with Reece James. But Reece James, you look at the goals that they're conceding against Leicester, and some of the goals are conceding against us. A lot of it is down to Reece James' inexperience. He's not smelling danger. Right. He's not smelling danger like Azpilicueta does. But Reece James, if Reece James is not battering teams, then you're going to look at the defence, and that's where Lampard has failed miserably. He's been 6 and 7 as well. All right, he's got the left side right in terms of in terms of the acquisition at left back, but right back and defence, it's a mess, and that's ultimately what's causing.
I think if you look at it logically, right.
Yeah. Just before we do, Tone, just 2 seconds, mate. We've got a super chat here. Randy Viper, thank you very much, mate. He said, Chelsea and Cardiff City ruthless, unlike Arsenal. Thank you very much for your comment, mate. Appreciate that. Go on, Tone. What was you going to say, mate?
Tone?
Can you hear us, Tone? Can you hear us, Tone? Hopefully he'll come back in a second.
Can hear you.
Can you hear?
Kind of. It's such a shame because I kind of. It's 50-50. You know what I mean?
Oh, we've lost him.
No, I think what he needs to do is if he could come out and come back in, I think his reception will be a bit better.
Hopefully, mate. Diesel, what's your thoughts, mate?
Again, I can't see you. I can't see us agreeing on this still. Yeah, first of all, sorry, earlier on, I think I was cutting in when Tony was still talking. But yeah, Ken, love you, mate. Good to see you again. It's been a while.
It's been a while, mate.
And so I thought I'd get that in. Listen, it's harsh. I've said to you before, I've always liked Frank Lampard. I've met him a couple of occasions. He's actually a really nice bloke. I've always liked him. I've respected him as a player. I don't think he was great. I think he was like in terms of a Ronaldo. He wasn't naturally gifted, but he made the best of what he got. He worked really hard and, to get to the level. So he probably worked harder than most. As a player, I don't think he was a world class. I won't go that far because I've never seen him run big games. That's not a disrespect to Lampard. I wouldn't have put him in that world class bracket. It was a bit below for me. But let's make no mistake, he is a Chelsea legend. But I look at it quite similar to us. I would kill to have Roman at our club because although it's harsh, and let's be honest here, right? As Tony said earlier on, very rare that Roman himself in person comes out and makes a statement, right? The fact that he done that today, we know he must have a very close, special relationship with Lampard, right? But that's personal, right? He doesn't mix business with personal, right? So,
but not let him in the training ground today to say goodbye to the players.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Well, Sky Sports' Gary Cockrell has come out. He's down, obviously, at Stamford Bridge at the moment. And he said it was very, very brutal, and the way that they've gone about it. And Frank Lampard was not allowed in the training ground today, and he wasn't allowed to goodbye, even though the legend what he is.
Right. Well, I didn't know that. If that's what's gone on, then you got to say that's not acceptable. You know, if he can't even go in and say goodbye. I didn't know that. I was of the understanding, obviously, as a player and obviously as a manager, they must.
I find that I got.
Go on,
Sorry,
Tone.
Good time. Can you hear us, Tone? No, I don't think you can hear us. Go on, Diesel. What was you saying, mate? Listen, I'm not making up any rumours.
It's such a shame this year because I'm really enjoying talking to you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go on.
I'm gutted because I can't speak to you guys. Because it's such a shame because I might have to chop it because it's just tell if you can hear me, guys, but let me just say just a couple of things. If you can hear me, great, and then I'll just sign off. And I'm much apologies to my internet. Don't know what the fuck's gone on with it. I really don't because it's normally top drawer. But anyway, I don't know if I believe that story. From Sky. Let's be honest. We're talking about mainstream media here, and I've got no respect for them whatsoever. I've got to tell you. And that sounds very classless to me. And if that has gone on, then that suggests that there is an issue in the dressing room that they didn't want it to escalate onwards. I'm not so sure, so I'm not going to comment on that. But if it's something we've done, then equally, I don't think it's not something that's good. Look, it's Frank Lampard. Kenny's hit the nail right on the head. If you're going to be able to critical about Frank, he never had a settled side. Defensively, he never sorted that issue out. He never sorted out the goalkeeper situation. He rotated the entire centre halves probably 8 times over with different combinations. You are right about Aspilicueta and Reece James and the gaps that were left behind. And whenever Ben Chilwell never played on the left-hand side, we wasn't the same team anyway. He fluctuated between, does he go with Angolo? Obviously, Billy Gilmore's in the team, but then you got Kovacic. And it's that square pegs in round hole scenario, because when we bought Kai Havertz, I think most people thought he was going to play 8, Werner was going to play 9, and Tammy was going to be on the bench. What he's trying to do is play Tammy and Werner at the same time, and then obviously you got the whole Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi. Well, at one point we never even had the wingers available to us. You know what I mean? Because we've had a few injuries and that. But yeah, you are right. He's chopped and changed. He's never really had a settled side, and you pay for that. You know, in the long run. Look, in all intents and purposes, right? If it wasn't Frank Lampard, right, Chelsea would never have gone out and got a manager from Derby County that done one season. Yeah, let's be honest here. It's the mere fact that we're saying it's Frank. Yes, we spent the money. Yes, the net scenario isn't exactly massive, but it's still, as you say, over £200 million, and Roman Abramovich expects better than that. So he's looking at the situation. He's going, do you know what? If I've got to do it, I'm going to have to do it now. And we are that type of club. And, you know, as I said, we created our own Arsene Wenger scenario here because some of our supporters won't have no criticism led towards him. We could have lost every game going all the way up to the end of the season, and they still would have supported Frank. And I get that because he is such an iconic figure. That said, we've made a decision. It's a very, very sad day for Chelsea supporters today. Very sad because of who he is and what it is. But the show goes on, and I think we will be stronger, if I'm brutally honest, as a result of making this decision. And seriously, he's a decent tactician. Yeah, I would say it's a cross between Maurizio Sarri and someone like Jurgen Klopp. And that, by the way, ticks a lot of boxes as far as Chelsea is concerned. Pulisic played for him at Borussia Dortmund and revelled, you know, in his position there. You've got Thiago Silva, obviously at Paris Saint-Germain. 2 German boys where their body language has been all wrong for weeks. they're going to benefit from a German-speaking manager. Let's be honest, and it'd be interesting to see what goes on. I believe he's on the bench. Am I right in saying that he's on the bench on Wednesday night?
Yeah,
so
I
that sounds
think
like it's pretty much a done deal.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see, boys. But I think I'll chop it here, guys, because my internet's going in and out, and I don't want to spoil it for people out there. And much respect
Love you, Tug.
to you guys. Lovely to see you, Ken. Right, seeing you, spoke to you for.
I'm sure we'll be talking about this all week.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, Tone, you keep breaking up again. Look, thank you very much for coming on, mate. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and this is probably the worst Chelsea team we've had 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, listen, what it is, right? I've got better reception in now. So stop it, yeah. Much love to you all, yeah.
Thanks, Tony.
All about that, mate. Chelsea FC. All about that, mate.
We're gooners, mate. We're gooners.
Boys, just quickly, I just want to just get your thoughts on obviously Tuchel, who's obviously going to take over.
Can I correct you on one point? I know what Sky is saying. I know what you and Dees were saying about Sky. But when the story first came out this morning, when where it was leaked that Lampard is due to be sacked, the answer was that the players were told not to come to training because they obviously they wanted to have a little chat with Frank and let him and break the news to him. So the players' training was in the afternoon. So basically, it was situations. Frank was there to clear his things. Him and his coaching staff, Jody Morris, leave their jobs, and then the players can start training with anyone they appoint. I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if Petr Cech is taking training, but I think that's why the situation was with why Frank probably didn't say his goodbyes or anything. But it's one of those situations where I agree with a lot with what Tony said. I hear what you're saying, Tony. I really respect your situation, but one thing Tony says really resonated with me. And the thing that resonated with me as well is that the best thing Chelsea did was kill Bambi, because you don't want a situation, as Tony said, that we have with Arsenal and what Man United have got with Ole as well. In that club legend, it's hard to sack him because of the fact the fans, especially the sentimental fans, because we all got fans of sentimental who are going to say, "Oh, you can't do that because he's a legend." We've had that with Arsene.
Totally agree.
And to a certain extent, we're having that with Mikel as well. Chelsea Football Club can't make our mistakes and make, what many Man United fans who are hard-nosed feel that with in terms of Ole. So they had to act. And the good thing about it is that they're giving Tuchel about, enough time to repair the damage. Because, if you look at Chelsea results, there is really damage, isn't it? And it's not really damage limitations. It's get us into the semi-finals of the Champions League at least, win the FA Cup, and get us in the top four. That's Tuchel's in train. He's got enough time to do that.
That's all well and good in hindsight, Ken. But what if he doesn't?
Well, you say he doesn't, but come on, this is a top coach. They've got top players. They have the best. They have potentially the best squad in the Premiership. Now footballing logic suggests if he gets that defence right, picks a settled side, and he does that quickly, and I think he will, they're going to get better results and better performances. He's not going to, be wishy-washy about the right back situation. He's certainly going to make sure he has a proper partner for Thiago Silva. And in the goalkeeper situation, that decision's already made. They've got Mendy in goal. But the problem is that they're hurting Mendy and not giving Mendy any support because he keeps on shopping and changing defence. That's why Mendy is able to come out when he doesn't have to come out, because the defence is so different for the poor lads that he's making those mistakes because he does. 1 minute he's communicating with Thiago Silva and Zuma, then it's Thiago Silva and Rudiger, and then it's Thiago Silva and Christensen, and then he hasn't got Then he hasn't got Azpilicueta at right back, sometimes he restrains. That's not. Especially when you bought a new goalkeeper, you need to have security around him.
Yeah. Diesel?
Yeah, first of all, just a big up to Imran. Thank you very much, mate, for joining the Banster family. As David Dundas says as well, yeah, welcome. Thank you very much, mate. Look forward to seeing you on the streams. Yeah, look, I've heard what Tony said, right? And I agree with what Kenny said, right? They were in danger of slipping into where, if I'm honest, where we are. You know, Frank Lampard, as I've said, he is a legend at that. He's a legend, right? Now, what that's done is that has fractured that Chelsea fan base a little bit. Because, and I keep on saying it, when it's a legend of the club as a player, it really does cloud your judgment. Whether you know it or not, it does. If this wasn't Frank and this was any other manager, they'd be baying for blood. If Sarri was making those same mistakes Frank was, a lot more Chelsea fans would be saying, we've had enough, we want him out. But because it's Frank, it's like, oh, I want him, but I can't say it because it's Frank and I feel bad because I love the player. Straight away, that clouds your judgment, right? What I like about Roman, and I know it's ruthless, yeah, but us and Chelsea are two polar opposites, right? Because I genuinely believe they have got a very good, special, close relationship, right? If there was any other manager other than Frank, no manager from Derby would have made that jump to Chelsea, right? In hindsight, Frank really would have been better for him to have stayed there for another year and got another year under his belt. I don't blame him for taking it because it's an opportunity that may never come up again. You'd be a fool to say no, right? But Roman's looking at it, and he's thinking, I've spent all that money, right? Frank's not doing. I personally think something more's gone on, right? In my opinion. But let's be honest. Can you name me one Chelsea player who's in form at the moment? Because I can't. And I think that's what it is. As a collective, they're not playing well. Frank came out about 3 or 4 weeks ago in an interview and said, you know, they're not running hard. You know, they're not fighting for each other. And then when the question was put to him, why not? He was like, well, I don't know, but we have to address that in training. Well, that should be a given. You should be working hard. You know, they should at least be doing the basics. And they weren't. And Frank was honest enough to come out and say that in an interview, right? Which was great because I like honesty, but in another sense, it probably went against him. Because people are looking at him thinking, well, Andy, you just said they're not working for you. Why not? Why are they not working for you? Right? And I think Roman's probably seen that. I think they're 8th at the moment, I believe, with 29 points. They're only 2 points in front of us. And we've been piss poor all season. You know, so it's imperative that they do not miss out on that top 4. He's had to be ruthless. I feel sorry for Frank, but not that much because he's walking away with millions. Let's have it right. And he'll probably have a job in a few weeks. Not only that, he knew what he was going into, right? Mm-hmm. He knew what he was going into. Right? He knows more than anyone, right, the ins and outs of that club and how ruthless Roman can be. So let's be honest, I don't feel sorry for him that much, right? The Tuchel thing, I personally believe Roman is number 1, is Nagelsmann. I think he's the one he really wants, but he knows he can't get him now. So Tuchel coming in, the German connection with Havertz and Timo Werner, I think that's a major factor in why they brought this man here. But my opinion, I don't think Tuchel will be there for long. They're going to get Nagelsmann. Right? That's the one Roman wants, and they will throw money at it.
See, Diesel, I've got some concerns
what do you think, Ken?
I've got some concerns about it. And maybe Terry may feel differently, but they've gone for a Nagelsmann figure already. You can argue that Frank was a Nagelsmann, but if you go back, 10 years ago, Villas-Boas was a Nagelsmann. He was this bright young coach. Who never had a professional career. He was meant to take Chelsea to another level, play this beautiful style of football, like Barcelona in blue shirts. It didn't work out because the senior players at Chelsea, like Frank Lampard himself, Didier Drogba, Petr Cech, people like Carvalho, all those people, and obviously John Terry, they turned against Villas-Boas, and that's why he lost his job. When they lost to West Brom, 9 years ago. So is he going to go for that same situation? I think he probably hasn't got the characters in the dressing room, the leaders in the dressing room, where you've got younger players where they probably would, Nelson may have a chance. But in this very much situation, you have to go through the experience of Tuchel. Tuchel's done a great job at Mainz. He basically nearly got the Holy Grail, i.e. the Champions League for PSG. And, let's face it, any manager that goes to Chelsea Football Club, it's not going to harm their CV. In fact, it's going to enhance their CV because highly likely they'll have a high win percentage rate. They'll have won a cup or got to a final. Frank Lampard results at Chelsea, that will get him work, 100%. And he got them in the top 4 in his first season. He'll be fine.
But Ken, right?
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, Tim. No, I just wanted to quickly ask, right? Both of you, right? Do you think, yeah? See, this is another thing, right? That I think could be a factor as well. A lot of them players, right? Not so much the younger, well, some of the younger ones, but more so the experienced ones, right? Now, as I just said, I like Frank, but as a player, I liked him. As a manager, he hasn't done anything yet. Some of these players, and whether it's right, I mean, I say this to Terry all the time, whether it's right or wrong, right? There is a big ego and a big snobbery, right, within football. And what I mean by that is a lot of these experienced players, Ken, have played under some of the best managers in world football, right? It's the same as like, we eat burgers every day, right? We have a steak once, and all of a sudden we've set the bar. You can't have anything less than a steak now. You can't anything less than a steak. It's not good enough. It's the same with these players, right? To go from the cream of the crop, right, working under proper classy managers who have been there, done it, won it, worn the t-shirt, etc., to then working under Frank, who's, let's be honest, learning his way, right? Is there that thing where in the players' mind, Frank's telling him to do something, and some of those players are like, well, hang on a minute, who are you to tell me? I've played under him, I've played under him, and now you come along and you're trying to you are trying to tell me that I'm. Is there a little bit of that? Because I think there is, mate.
I think there is, but I think if Frank transcends that because Frank's won everything in the game. He's won everything in the game
as a player. As a player,
as a player,
it's different, isn't it?
But what's happening is that Frank calls Chelsea Football Club his club. So, to all intents and purposes, obviously, people like Mason Mount has probably known Frank Lampard since he was 6 years old because there was a kid. Tammy Abraham would have known him for a long time as well. Azpilicueta would have played with him briefly. Yeah. So, what's happened is that they know Frank's legendary status, but I don't know. You've got a point. His coaching methods have to be of a concern because you could tell by his team collection he's not sure of what he wants, and he keeps on chopping and changing. So that is going to be a concern to play, senior players, like especially Azpilicueta. That everything we're going. We don't know what we're doing here. What we're going to do. They're going to look at the bench when someone like Jamie Vardy has breached that offside trap and got on the defender's shoulder again in a football match. And they're going to think, what? They're going to look at the Arsenal names and hang on here. We thought Arsenal crap. Arteta was the one who's going to lose his job. And then this team is basically outrunning us 2-0, within 10 minutes before half time. They're 2-0 up and it's getting worse. Yeah. What are you going to do about it, Frank? All he did was say, that was a disgrace. That would never happen under my stewardship again. Well, hang on here. 2 days later, you played Aston Villa and they played you the part and you were lucky to get a draw.
Exactly. Hey, the Godfather's back.
How are you?
All right, boys. I can't stay too long. I thought I'd come and thank you, boys, for doing such a good job while I've been away and everything. And hello, Kenny. How you doing, mate?
I'm glad to hear your voice, mate.
Yeah, well, it's still here. It's still there. It's still not great.
The amount of money you could make, right, with a voice like that on them telephone lines, I think.
Remember those adverts in the 70s? Those adverts, lozenges and all that.
Exactly. I think I'm going on with this. We touched on it earlier, Ken, about the Chelsea, how ruthless they are, and sometimes you wish we'd be as ruthless as them. I think Lampard did not get the respect from certain senior players in the squad. You all touched on it, and in the end, it wasn't going to work. He came in. He done I call the first year without no real pressure. He done a good job to get them into fourth place. Yeah, with a lot of young players, but there was no real pressure there. But once you start mixing all these other players, international players, come in, there's much more pressure on you, and it's a different type of pressure. And as I think one of you stated earlier, you're coming in, as you say, you've gone from top elite coaches, and then you're playing under a guy that's got less experience. I think what he should have done, should have gone down the John Terry route in his career and gone as a coach to an experienced manager like John Terry did, and worked his way up that way. And as I said, it just goes to show you it's a very difficult job, and these are big jobs, and you have to have the experience top experience to get on with it. And but I think what happened today, I think with Tuchel, is the reason they've got Tuchel in is because the German players that he's got in there, plus the players that he's worked with as well. So he can get them playing into the pattern of play that he wants to play. And you'll probably see players like Tino Werner start to hit form and starting to play well.
Yeah, and Havertz.
Get back to the form anyway. Going off the subject, going on to my own our team.
Remember your health, Claude. Remember your health.
Are we now becoming a crash for Real Madrid or something? I don't know what's going on here.
Every time we go to a nursery, Claude.
Apparently, I don't know if this is true, but this player's not even is not even fit till March. So what's going on here? This player that we're bringing in is not even fit till March, not properly fit, and he's had a lot of injuries as well. He's hardly played any football. And I just don't understand these signings. I'd rather keep with what we've got at the moment with Smith Rose and all these players. Keep that with them rather than bring in a player like this. I don't understand that. I know he's got a lot of potential, but if he's that great, why isn't he playing at Real Madrid? You've got to ask yourself. Why isn't he in that Real Madrid squad? Have we got another Ceballos situation on our hands? I mean, we seem to do the same thing all the time, and it's not good. You know what I'm saying? Saturday, going on about Saturday because I've not spoken about Saturday.
Yeah,
we're not. Is he now saying that the FA Cup is no longer a priority for us? No, hold on. No, although the team that should be good enough to compete with Southampton, by the way, should have been good enough anyway.
Yeah,
it should have been good enough. But 7 changes. Do we really need to make 7 changes? Why wasn't Thomas Partey playing from the start? It wouldn't have hurt him to play 60 minutes, first 60 minutes, and then go off the pitch. I don't understand some of these selections that he made on Saturday, playing a right back at left back. I don't think it would hurt Kieran Tierney to play 2-3 games a week. I don't think it hurts him. He's that type of player, and I don't get this shit. I don't get what he's doing.
Well, I'll tell you, can I just butt in? Sorry, Claude. The reason why I haven't even had my say on Arsenal yet, because we haven't even got to Arsenal. You know what I mean?
I missed you, Claude.
This is the reason that I can't understand, right? Is that I kept going on about, we won the FA Cup last year, we won the thing, and everyone kept saying, well, I don't want to win the FA Cup. I don't care about the FA Cup. The league is the most important thing about Arsenal at the moment because we've got to be up there to win everything, right? And then going back to the third round, right? Tierney played, and everyone slated him for playing Tierney in case he got injured against Newcastle, right? That's another thing. And the other thing is, right, every Arsenal fan that is an Arteta out, the Arteta cult, like I say, let's be real, they always say, right, if he doesn't get top 4 this season, he's got to be sacked.
Yeah, but
So
Terry,
you've got to make the up. Is it the FA Cup or is it the league that you want?
Why is it? Why have we got a picture? Why can't we go for both? Why has it got to be one or the other? Why?
Terry, hold on.
Hold up.
Terry, hold on.
Why can't we have both?
Hold on, Terry. You got a team. You got a team that's played. Who was it? Who did we play before? Just before them, I can't remember who we played before. Before Southampton.
Newcastle.
Newcastle.
The team is flowing. Great second half performance.
Yeah.
Why change? Why change it? You've got the momentum. It doesn't matter whether it's FA Cup, the league, whatever. Play every game, one by game. Build the confidence up. The confidence was there. Why make some changes when you're on
the reason why he made them
change? Great second half.
I totally agree where you're coming from, Claude. I totally agree that we should have a team that we've always said it. Me, Diesel, you, everyone, Kenny. You know what I mean? If you've got a squad of great players, then keep that same team going all the time. But if you get injuries, you've got players to come in that are capable of doing the job. At the moment, our squad can't do that. Like I just said, people were moaning about Arteta when he played Tierney at left back against Newcastle, saying we didn't need to risk him. Why didn't we need to risk him? Hold up. 2 seconds, mate, and then you can butt in. Right? The reason that he's done that, and I'm totally gutted that we've gone out the FA Cup because obviously I love the FA Cup. I wanted to win it. Want to win it, but I understand the reason behind it. Right? This is what I'm trying to say. When people come back at me,
yeah, but you would.
Instead of just saying, well, we keep picking Willian. He keeps picking Willian. That's the argument. He keeps picking Willian.
It's not you're not getting my point, Terry. Let me finish because you're not getting my point, what I made. My point I made is it doesn't matter if it's FA Cup, whatever. The team is playing with confidence. And you treat every game like if you see the team is confident. It's building on confidence. So we couldn't play. All right, we couldn't play at Birmingham because of personal reasons. One player. Yeah. I mean, and you just pick that side. You keep playing while we're flowing. Smith Rowe, the Sackers. Well, keep playing them. It was Monday to Saturday. It's not 2 days, is it? You know, Monday to Saturday, right? But with the league at the moment, right, with the situation at the moment, we have more chance of winning the FA Cup at the moment than getting top 4 anyway. So really, he's strong. Yeah, but what he's done is put he's put himself under a lot of pressure here because now, if he doesn't win, if he don't win on Tuesday.
He hasn't put himself under a lot of pressure. What you've got to remember is, like I keep saying, the Arteta cult that want him out keeps saying that if he doesn't get top 4, he's got to be sacked. Right? He's got to be sacked. Therefore, the Arteta cult, right? The Arteta cult people are saying that the league is more important.
There's no cult. No cult. You make this Steve bloody cult.
Is that the truth? Take away the Arteta cult. Take away the Arteta cult, Claude, right? Listen to what I'm saying. Everyone that wants Arteta out, right? Let's be real, has said he's got to get top 4. Come on, Ken, even you say it and Diesel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Top 4. He's got to get top 4, otherwise he's out. But what you're saying is that the FA Cup don't mean anything, really, because you want to be high up in that league, which is fine. I've not got a problem with that. So you've got
you can still use that FA Cup as a platform of confidence to go into the game.
A proper mentality, you'd go for both. Yeah, the proper mentality, you'd go for both. Why is it
United yesterday? They still had most.
Come on.
Against Liverpool. They could easily. They're playing the Premier League. They're top of the league. Yeah, they could easily have arrested a lot of players. Right? They brought on even if they brought Rashford was playing. All these players were all playing, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah,
Am
yeah.
I right or wrong?
Yeah, but,
So-
but
They're
Man United,
in a better position than what we are.
Man
in a-
United have got a better squad than us at the moment in depth. In depth, right? If you break our team down, Claude, Diesel and Penny,
I'm saying that
they're
these players can still play 1 or 2, 3 games together. They can still play. Rashford will play. I don't know if he just picked up an injury though. All these players will play again. Most of those players didn't make 7 changes, did they? Man United made, and they're in a better position than what we are in.
But Rashford will get injured. Who have they got to come in for him?
Well, they've got good. Yeah, I mean they've got good backup there. They've got good.
Exactly.
Although,
We've only got,
I think
11, 12
I
players.
do believe if you took, Kenny might disagree with me here. If you took Fanash and Pogba and Pogba out of the team, you took them 2 players out. I don't think they'd be as successful as they are.
There you go.
But that's 2 players.
There you go. What I'm trying to say to you is that at the moment we are only strong enough with about 11 or 12 players that we would pick for our first team 11. Would you agree with that, Kenny? Roughly, we've got 11 players.
I can see both sides of the argument. I can see where Claude's coming from in terms of momentum. There's nothing stronger than momentum in football, and in the momentum is really strong. If you look at the since Chelsea game and you look at the results, we've won every game and we've drawn 1. So the momentum's really strong. In terms of what Mikel's doing, as I said to Claude, me and Claude differ on this, and also I said in one of the fan camps that I get it because of the footballing calendar, not because of the injuries, but because of the footballing calendar, because the season has to finish in May, and because of the Euro 2020. I do get it because we've got games on Saturday, Tuesday, then Saturday, Tuesday again. I get that. I do get that and respect that. But I do understand the frustration. My frustration, obviously, is being imagined. But I'm just as angry with the players for not pushing the squad enough.
Exactly.
But in terms of that, if Arteta has seen these performances from these players and he knows, and these have been repetitive, dare I say it, no-shows, then I can see where Claude's coming from as well, to the extent that you're still picking these players, they're letting you down in a cup game where you want them to push your first 11. Let's face it, he hasn't got an identified way of playing football, but you want these players to push your first 11. It's a bit of a quagmire for the guy because he's picking players who've let him down again, and yet he's repeating the same mistake. Therefore, I hear what you're saying. You are looking at the squad game.
What do you think the players that's let him down, Kenny? These are our second players and the players that are on the bench.
I hear what you're saying, the second players, but you have to see from other people's point of view. There's certain players that, like Willian and Pepe, who flagged the disease, and yet you the same token, you don't really rate them highly. You wouldn't have them in your first 11.
Exactly.
But as much as you love the FA Cup. Do you want them to keep on playing games, Arsenal first team games, when it's highly likely they're not going to deliver? And I think that's where Claude's coming from, is that momentum's the best thing in football. So in the end, Arteta's going back to players who've let him down. But I understand why he's changed the team. It changed the team in terms of of the fact that we've got this condensed programme. But
Kenny, mate, can I interrupt you a minute, right?
Yeah.
Right. In the 70s, I don't get all this right. They've got all these players have got all the best facilities. They've got everything ready for them. They've got everything. They've got the perfect pitches. They've got everything there. In the 70s and 80s, they were playing. I know Arsenal played 60 games one season with 14 players. Right, 14.
You're talking about 1980 when Brian Talbot played all 70 games for us.
That's what I'm saying. They've got all the perfect play. They've got. It's all in the mind. It's all in the head that they can't play all these games. If they're not playing matches, they would be training anyway. They rather play games than train. It's all in the head. Put in.
I agree with you. Going back then, you had the starting 11, and that was it every single week, apart from maybe one player that got changed about every week or whatever. I totally
And
agree
they
with that.
drank back then. They're a lot
Yeah,
fitter
and
now.
they-
They're athletes now, aren't they?
What I'm saying to you is, right, Claude, Kenny, and everyone else, is that we've got Tierney, we've got Gabriel, we've got Partey, we've got Martinelli, you've got Xhaka, and you've got Smith Rowe, right? They're our best players. Let's be real. They're our best players in this
Best
team.
performing players. Best performing.
Best performer. How
Players.
many games are they going to play in these next 19 games without being injured? I don't want them to get injured. Don't get me wrong. But let's be real. All them 6 players that are our best performing players at the moment haven't played with each other yet.
Come on, Terry. Come on.
Yet because of injuries, right? So if 2 or 3 of them players get injured, we got to rely on players like Pepe, Willian, Willett, Nelson, who every one of us don't want. But that's our squad at the moment. That is our squad.
Yeah, well,
That's our squad.
Tell,
Understand?
I understand he had to make changes, right? But do you not agree that maybe 2 or 3 changes rather than 7, 8? That's what I think.
Harry Kane is knocking goals in front in the under 23s, right? Is left at home. It's left at home, right? And you've got hold on a minute, listen to me. And you've got that Eddie Nketiah who can't hit a fucking barn door in the squad, right? No, also, and then you've got 3 goalkeepers, 2 goalkeepers on the fucking bench.
He put him on the bench.
All about? What the fuck is that all about? 2 fucking goalkeepers on the bench.
Do that last minute because Aubameyang had to pull out the squad, Claude. But yes, I understand.
But Ryan was already
that one player don't make a team.
Yeah, but Ryan and Rullison were already in the squad. But the situation is, this has to be discussed. I think, you know, we're unanimous that we are very excited by the prospect of Balogun getting in the first each bay. We're all unanimous in the fact that Eddie Nketiah is probably not going to cut it at the football club. So and therefore, if we're unanimous on both these points, we're also unanimous in the fact that Eddie Nketiah is blocking the pathway to Balogun's path in the first team. But the person who's allowing this to happen is Arteta. And that's the frustration with all of us, that this is another game where Balogun cannot get a game. When he's trying to persuade the guy to stay at the football club, he's not getting a look in. He's already said previously, in worse effect, that he wants to give Eddie games and blah, 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 blah. That is saying you're allowing and you're condoning the fact that the guy's path is being blocked. That is a problem we've all got.
Maybe he might be saying, you're not getting in the squad. You're not dictating to me, right? The manager of this team, right? And you're only a 19-year-old player. I've told you what I want. We've put the contract on the table. We've put the money on the table. This is what we're going to try and do to integrate you into the team, right?
Integrate. We should have done that in the Europa League.
So sign the contract, and we do that. We do that. Otherwise, you're opening a can of worms now to anybody that's coming through that think they've got the authority that they think they can come into this team. When all the time everyone's saying, well, he's got to dictate. The manager's got to dictate to these players what they can and can't do. So
he's right in doing that. But the thing is, you can't keep him going. Yeah, but it's not like that. You can't be wishy-washy. He's done the same thing with Saliba. If you don't rate these players, then say so, let him go, and we move on. And I respect him for that. I do expect the fact that he does reserve the right. But when you're messing around and giving mixed messages to all these young players, there's no way those young players are going to sign a contract. In the Europa League, we had basically friendly matches. Come on, the mighty Mulder, the mighty Dundalk, and the mighty Rapid Vienna. Come on, he can't get a look in those games.
But Saka had a new deal under Arteta. Same as Smith Rowe.
But Arteta's come out though, Till. Arteta's come out openly and said, I don't want Balogun to leave. I want to keep him. Arteta has said that. So if the minute he said that, us as fans are looking, thinking, okay, so you want him because you said that, right? So you want him. But you're not doing yourself any favours by not at least putting him on the bench. Because Eddie Nketiah, I've heard people say he didn't get no service. I feel sorry for him. Terry had 3 or 4 clear-cut chances. He scuffed a lot. And I'm sorry, it gets to a point now, all right, and he's a young kid. I don't want to dash him, right, because I feel, he's young. But at a club like this,
Yep.
I'm sorry, that's where the ruthlessness for me got to come in. He's had more than enough chances. If he ain't cutting it, I think Balogun, out of those 4 chances, I reckon he would have at least put one of them away. My personal
hypothetical.
No, it's opinion. That's what I just said.
What should we do then? Should we big him up Balogun because we think?
No, it's not bigging him up, Tel. But if he's
we're doing it already, Tel. It's happening already.
Yeah.
A lot of fans, you included, believe that Balogun's the better player and that Balogun should be integrated into the first. Not gradually, he should be integrated now.
No.
You agree with that, Tel?
Hold up, Kenny. I do believe that he is probably better than Nketiah. But like I said, if he's got Arsenal in his heart, and he wants to stay at this club and play for this football team with Dakar and all that, sign the deal.
Half these players haven't got Arsenal in their heart, Tel. They haven't got Arsenal in their heart.
How many players
have Arsenal in their heart? As long as they do the business on the pitch, I'm not fussed whether they got it in their heart. Timmy hasn't got Arsenal in his heart. He's a Celtic boy. I don't care about that. As long as they're doing what they're paid to do, I'm good with that. All right? You'll never find a Tony Adams again. No, it's sad, but then players are thinking, Xhaka ain't got to think a lot about
Tony
Arsenal.
Adams is a West Ham fan. Tony Adams and Ray Parlour are West Ham. They're West Ham boys. East End boys brought up to support West Ham. They fell in love with the club. Lee Dixon's a Man City fan, born and bred.
Jack Wilshere, another one. Yeah.
You grow up to love the club, but not all footballers are like that because they are
Paul
professionals.
Mercer's Chelsea.
Exactly. Because the same mantra is the club, when they want you, give you all the love. But when they want you out, it's quick and ruthless. We've seen it now with Mesut. How quick was that? That was like, if you turn back the clock in terms of all the adulation he got, the minute they didn't need him, Arteta didn't need him, it was like him sinking this quicksand in seconds, not minutes or like an hour, seconds. And that's how football is. And that's why players should never be loyal to a football club, because when they cut the cord, it's ruthless and painful.
See, I know you criticised Pepe the other day, and watching that Pepe, he created 3 chances, 3 good chances. If they were put away, everyone would be saying, what a great game he had. See, he created 3 good chances on Saturday, Pepe. You didn't play brilliant, but he created 3 good chances. And that one I couldn't believe he just completely missed. You know what I'm saying? And people criticising Pepe. At least he was creating something. Willian done fuck all.
Yeah, Willian for me, right? Willian for me is just a player now that we can just get rid of him. You know what I mean? I did. Listen, I was all right with him coming. I understand the reasons again why he got him, but it hasn't worked out. Just get rid of him. But everyone is doing is pinning everything on Willian, and we all know about Willian. He's crap. He's been crap.
And also Terry, he's making Bellerin a captain, right? This is a captain making a captain of our football club, who doesn't believe winning is important, yeah? Yeah, he's captain of our fucking football club. What's that all about? I mean, come on, let's get it right now.
There's a few things that Arteta is doing wrong, and that is one of them, right? That is one of them.
So come on, that's a sackable offence, mate. Come on. Yeah, I know you hate Bellerin. That is a sackable offence. That is totally sackable. Come on, Till.
He's no good, Bellerin. I don't hate him. Not as much as I hate Xhaka and other
players. No. But giving him the captaincy, right? Giving him the This is a player who, as Claude rightly said, right, has openly come out and said, he wanted it too much. He was too much of a winner. You know, I'm sorry. A player with that mindset, you're giving him the captaincy. Do you not think that's a sackable offence? I do.
Of course, it ain't a sackable offence because he just should never be doing it. Come on, he should never be doing it. So if that's the case, then right, if that's the case, we look at the end of the day.
What I didn't get about it, I mean, Cedric, you saw he had an outstanding game against Newcastle, at right back.
Yeah.
I switch him to left back and bring Bellerin in. I don't understand this crap.
We haven't got a left back. We haven't got a left back as cover at the moment.
Well, last week you played Maitland-Niles. So are you trying to say one striker is all right? So that's what one striker and that's it.
Everyone was one striker. Everyone was on at him saying
that. We know that. But it's the same. I hear you, Tim. I agree with you. But the same situation is the concern I have. and quite a few of us, it's the man management thing. The guy was on his way to Wolves, and he was told that he's going to be a part of Arteta's plans, and he's not getting looking. So, so to be part of Arteta's plans, a player who's part of Arteta's plan, one strike you're out. What has he done so badly? What has he done wrong?
Well, we don't know.
What's happened? Because last season he was our saviour.
As much as I want Maitland-Niles, wanted Maitland-Niles to be our right back, at the moment, Cedric looks like he can cement that if he carries on.
Cedric will probably play tomorrow. Cedric will probably play tomorrow. You know that. He'll probably play tomorrow.
Yeah, but look, we all know beforehand, before even Arteta come, that Maitland-Niles had a really bad attitude problem.
How did we know that? Who told you that? Who told you that?
What do you mean, who told you that? Everyone
Where'd you hear it from?
And I know from a fact that he's cousin that lives around here, right? He knows. He says that himself that he's got a attitude problem. He had an attitude problem.
So why didn't we sell him then?
Because obviously Arteta thought he could get it out of him, I suppose, and he hasn't.
Phil, come on, man! You make it. Oh, Phil, come on! You can't keep defending this man. Every case that we're putting forward to you, you're batting away. Maybe he. Do you know what I mean? Like you've denied what me and you, right? Me and you, like we've always been open. We like Maitland-Niles, right? Cedric played one good game, right? Prior to that, Maitland-Niles, right, should be at right back here instead of Bellerin, right? Now Wolves came in, right, and we both said, if Arteta's not going to play him, which he hasn't been, this very rare this season, he's only playing when he's had to. Why would you deny this player, right? Because his career's being armed, being here. So why would you say to him, don't go, because I'm going to use, I want you here, I've got plans for you. What plans has he shown for Maitland-Niles? Again, as Kenny said, that man management, Terry, but yet, instead of looking at it, thinking, I like Arteta, but I agree with you too, but, it's always a but, but no, Till, he's clear as day. He's clear as day.
Does anyone know what's the matter with Aubameyang? Has anything come out about Aubameyang?
No, I'm out about that yet, unless Kenny knows anything about that. Do you, Ken?
Yeah, he come out. He's refusing to play for Arteta ever again. he won't play until he's sacked. That's what he said.
Just quickly, how about when you defend Guendouzi? You defended Guendouzi over everything about Arteta and things like that. And now it's come out again for the fourth time in a different club. He's had a row with a manager and he's had a row with his player. But no, that's all right. It's not a problem. It was Arteta that got rid of him.
Have you heard me say I want him back? Have you heard me say that?
Yeah, but no, you
commended Arteta for banishing him in.
Any other player. Any other player.
We've got players who have done worse than Guendouzi. Nothing. Look at Xhaka. What got done about Xhaka? Look how he threw Pepe under the bus. Xhaka does it. Nothing gets said. All right, Guendouzi. Not only does he get banished, he gets sent out on loan, Terry. All right, Arteta has got his favourites. Willian took a piss out of us by flying to Dubai for a steak. The next game, Terry, he starts. He starts the next game. Right? You explain to me how that's right.
How did he throw him under the bus? What did he do to throw him under the bus? What did he do? What did he do to throw him under the bus?
Who?
Pepe. What did Arteta do to throw him under the bus?
Terry, come on, man. You didn't see like the interview he gave?
All he said is that he should be embarrassed with what he done because he could have had basically a run in the team, which every fan is saying that he needs to do. That's all we said.
I've got no issue with that, Terry. Right, but when but bring the same energy for all the other players. Bring the same energy, but he doesn't. He doesn't. Xhaka, right? What did he say about Xhaka then when he got sent off?
He said he was disappointed with him with that. He said that. He said that in his interview. Go and have a look.
Okay, right. Kenny and Claude, yeah? Right? Did you hear what he said Arteta said about Runnison? Right? He openly came out and said he was a panic buy, right? He had one bad game. He's a kid, right? Arteta's probably ruined him, ruined his confidence, yeah? Right? Nothing gets said about that, though, does it? Even if he is a panic buy, as your manager, don't come out and say, I think I got that a bit wrong. He was a panic buy. What is that saying, right, to that young player? And Terry, you can sit there and shake your head. If that was your son at Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
Would you still be on 11 Arteta? No, you'd be spitting blood. You know why? Because that's a young kid, Terry. Right? You don't come out and say that. I'm sorry. You don't. Right? You just ruined him. You've ruined him. He's had to come off social media, and as a manager, Terry, right? He's only enhanced it. He's not improved it. He's gone for him. It's ruined him. And nothing gets said about that because it's Arteta. If that was Emery or any other manager in world football, we'd be banged for blood. Because it's Arteta. That's all right, Mikel.
And remember,
that's all right, Mikel. Brilliant. That's all right, Mikel. Come on, Terry.
Hey, we've got to be ruthless like Chelsea.
and remember, Arteta's the one that brought him in the first place. As well.
Exactly.
Listen, how many managers have brought players in and it hasn't worked? Oh, I suppose Arteta's the only manager that's ever done that. He's the only manager that's ever done that.
Ruin him, Terry. You don't ruin him.
Terry,
You can agree with me on that.
Come on.
You can agree with me on that.
hold on, Terry. Shouldn't it knock into your head that, hold on, this guy can't get in the first team, in the second division team. Where is it? France, is it? He's playing. He can't get in a second. He can't even get a first team game. Doesn't that ring a bell in your head that, he's the right player for the club? Doesn't that ring a bell?
Listen, he's going to make mistakes. He's going to make mistakes. And right, he will do, like any other manager. Like any other manager will do. Right?
No, he probably watched YouTube for 2 minutes and said, I'll take him. Oh, he looks all right. We'll get him in. That's it.
All I'm saying is when you come out with an argument, right? When you come out with an argument, instead of just going, well, it's William's fault. Oh, he's been fucking piss poor, which he has. We all know that. We all know that. So what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it?
Terry, hang on. Let me just get this one thing in, right? I'm not having to go at Arteta because he balls up with Runnison, right? I'm not saying that, right? Because every manager gets players in, and for whatever reason, it doesn't work out. My argument, right, was the way he had was the things he said in that interview. Because for me, he had one bad game and you've destroyed him, right? So, and that's a young kid, yeah. So for me, that's bad man management, right? And then I look at the Willian thing, right? 5 minutes he was there and he took the piss out of us, right? And instead of punishing him, by I don't know 5, 6, 7, 8 games without playing, right, just to put your authority down. You play him, not even from the bench, the very next game. Do you know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, I personally think he's got his favourites, right? I do, Terry. But like some of these things that I'm pointing out to you, saying he's done this, he's done that, it's always like let's back that off with an excuse. And I just think, well, but hang on, he's got to be accountable for that.
Sorry, lad. I'm struggling now. I'm going to have to come off. Sorry.
Mate.
So yeah, mate, I'm struggling now. Yeah, this cough's getting worse now. I'll speak to you soon. Yeah, take care, everyone.
Nice one, Claude. Get better, mate. Speak to you soon.
So, Claude.
Right, look, we've been going for hours and 10 minutes, so I'll give it another 8 minutes, boys, and then I'll need to shoot off. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if you've got 8 minutes, mate. Sorry, mate.
I'm nearly done. My battery's nearly done. I think what you're saying, so I do get the situations. You made some really strong points. Not every sign is going to be a success. We've seen it with the football club that that was part of the subject of this actual debate, the Lampard situation, where people were saying that Werner hasn't been a success for him, and that because Werner's has been, hasn't scored the goals, that's probably cost Frank his job. I get that. I understand it. And the same with managers not being success. But the problem is right now is that if you're like me and Diesel, where you want to change the manager, and then what's going to happen is that because you want to change the manager, you're not things that are going to concern you about, Arteta in terms of his man managing to make up for his teams. We're gonna equate that to the success of the football field because that's what we feel about Arteta. And one of the things about Arteta, but the good thing in his favour, he's a young manager. It's his first managerial job. He probably hasn't learned how to suppress his true feelings. He's probably too honest for his own good, which you can't be as a manager. You've got to be diplomatic. You've got to be like a pastor as a manager. Also, you've got to be like the headmaster who gives you six of the best with the cane. But you have to marry that all up. And you have to understand that some players need a kick up the backside, others need an arm around the shoulder. And I don't think that Mikel has discovered that, and he's got to learn that. But the problem is that he's a big club like Arsenal Football Club. There are demands, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And what I'm going to say to both of you is, we finished 8th last season. We won the FA Cup. Now, if we finish below that, right, and there's no trophy because the FA Cup's gone, we don't get a good run in Europe. We lose to Benfica, and he still get that. People like me are not going to accept that, you know, he needs more time, that there's a process, and we're not going to accept that there's a condensed, you know, program, condensed league in terms of a lot of good teams, blah blah. We're just going to look at the results and we think, well, hang on here, he's done in his first full season, he's done worse than last season where he had some success. So where's the progress? We're going to have to look at that, and that's something that we have to address. And it's not going to go away till we are concerned.
It's never going to go away.
We are genuinely concerned about the progress of the team, and we genuinely want an experienced coach to take us to the next level, because we have to challenge trophies. As much as you disagree with what happened with Lampard today at Chelsea, I endorse it because that's what I want at Arsenal.
Yeah.
I've gone past all of that. That's no disrespect to you, Tel. But that's what I want. Let me finish some points, because I'm going on a bit. I understand. But if you look at Man City and Chelsea, two ruthless clubs, Man City went 35 years without trophies. Chelsea went 50 years without winning the league. Chelsea only won 5 major trophies before Abramovich came to the football club. So, in terms of sustained success, those fans are living the dream. They're celebrating and dancing in the street with their pants around their heads and singing songs and kissing and hugging strangers because of the success they have. We may have to go down that route. It's not pretty, it's not nice, and it's probably not classy, but we have to win. We are slowly slipping away.
Yeah, we are.
Slowly become irrelevant in terms of discussions for winning the title and discussions for the top 4. And that's why we're concerned. And that's why we want what Chelsea have, because it works. It works.
I totally get that, Ken. And just to pick up on a couple of points, the reason why I'm a little bit annoyed with the Frank Lampard thing is, like I said, Chelsea, with all their money, could have went and got a manager before they got Frank Lampard. But no big manager wanted to take that job, like I said, because they couldn't go out and buy players that they wanted. So no one wanted to take it. This is what my problem is with that. So what they had to do is, and going back to Tony's point, well, unfortunately, we had to go to someone at Derby and get a club legend. That's because no one else would take the job at the moment, at that time. Why wouldn't they take it?
All right. What you say? No big name.
How do you know no one wanted it, though? I don't get that. How do you know that?
Chelsea Football Club.
Why would they go for Frank? They've got millions.
Because he's a club legendary.
No. Let's have it real. Be real.
I am having it real.
Listen. They've got millions. They could have paid someone to sit there for 2 years, an experienced manager to sort out the youth, and God knows what. No one wanted to do that at that time. It's the truth.
No one was available. Yeah, but no one was available. All right, here you no one was available. But let's face it, right?
No, not available.
But at the time, you got a good point there, because they didn't want to sack Sarri. Sarri resigned for Juventus. But if you speak to Chelsea fans, it was anyone but Sarri. And Frank has got a job because of his legendary status. So I hear what you're saying, but in terms of the Chelsea,
even Tony agreed with that earlier, and he's a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. And Tony doesn't agree with the sacking, but you've got to realise, as much as there's modern Arsenal fans, there's modern Chelsea fans. There's modern Chelsea fans now who basically, there's a lot of modern Chelsea, young Chelsea fans who've only seen Chelsea win, who wanted Lampard sacked. You go on other channels, and there's Anita, who's a good friend of your show, who you've had on. She was criticising Lampard last season. Last season, she wanted him sacked then because he got fourth. Yeah. So she's a dissenter. There's other people and other things who are dissenters, because they, as far as they're concerned, Chelsea Football Club equals success. And the same thing that's going to happen at Man City, who are Man City fans who didn't suffer the indignities of going 35 years without winning a trophy, going to the third tier of football, relying on a fluky win against Gillingham at Wembley to get them into the second tier of English football. They don't know about all that. They know about Aguero. That's all they know about, these young Man City fans. So they're going to, if Pep don't cut it, they're going to want him sacked as well. And that's the thing with modern football. You can't put the genie back in the bottle in anything. And the problem we've got at Arsenal now is that we're trying to put the genie back in the bottle. We can't, because George gave it success. Arsene gave it success. And what's happened, right, is because Arsene's been here for 22 years, right, for a long time. He's gone now. It's going to be 3 years since he was dismissed. Arsenal fans are getting impatient now. And because they want success. Yes, so they're so desperate for success because you look at the infrastructure of the football club and you look at the facilities we have. That is trying for success. It's there for success.
Yeah.
Just get the right man. Get the right man.
Listen.
Come on, Kenny. Come on. I totally agree.
Listen.
Come on.
This is what I don't understand, right? Is that everything in the background at the moment is going the right way. It's going the right way. Emery was an experienced manager that people wanted that experienced manager to come in.
Wasn't elite though, Phil.
Hold up. Right? Why didn't he start getting rid of all these players? Why didn't he get the players in? Right? This is what I don't understand. Why didn't Wenger start getting rid of these players? Why didn't Wenger start getting in the players that we actually needed? 16 years we was waiting for a central defender and a central midfielder. 16 years, right? Arteta's come in and he's done that within a year. He's done it within a year. So why did Arsenal, as a football club and the chairman, right, not back Wenger, who had the experience and had the history at Arsenal and things like that? Why didn't Arsenal as a football club back Wenger to go out and do that? Why didn't they back Emery to do that? But what we're actually saying is...
How's your Arteta?
Hold up. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to back an inexperienced manager to do that. We're going to back an inexperienced manager with the central defender that we've needed for 6 years and a central midfielder that we've needed for 16 years. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get all these players that these inexperienced manager went out and got. So we're putting all our faults and put back in behind an inexperienced manager, but we didn't do that for an experienced manager. This is what I don't get and what I can't understand fans don't get. So everyone that's calling for Arteta's head and things like that, surely you must know by now that it's not going to happen. They've put all their eggs in his basket. They understand what he wants to do. They've obviously sat down in the meetings and talked about it. They have obviously going to talked about getting rid of the players, which they're getting rid of the players. And then they're going to move on to, once they've done that, to getting the players in that we actually need. And then hopefully push on. Surely it's not rocket science and fans can see that. That's what I don't understand. And it's happening. It ain't as if it's miffed. It ain't as if it's not happening. It is happening. I said this was going to happen at the beginning of the season. Everyone laughed at me. Everyone said I was deluded. Even all the rap mates of yours in a funny way, if you know what I mean, Kenny, you know what I mean, was calling me out saying, no, it's never going to happen. He's going to be sacked by February. We're not going to buy anyone. We're not going to get rid of anyone. Well, it's all happening. So if I can see it, and most of the people not on social media can see it, why can't people that is on social media can't see it? Answer me that.
What is it?
Sorry, Diesel, you go, mate.
No, I was just going to say, Warren wants me to ask you this. So, Terry, where's the evidence? What's the evidence? How do you know it's Arteta? How do you know it's Arteta?
Just going on that, the evidence I showed you in a tweet earlier on, wasn't it? It looks like Mustafi's on his way out. That's the evidence.
Yeah, but if that was the other way, and that tweet stated, hang on, right, Mustafi close to signing a contract, and we would have done this stream tonight. We would have been fuming. You would have said to us, "Well, hang on a minute, it's paper talk." How do you know that's true? Where's the evidence? But because the tweet stated he's close to leaving, you jump all over it. It must be true because if it is true, it goes in Arteta's favour. So it must be true. Terry,
Did I put it up here? No, I
Spin,
haven't. Because
spin. That's what I call it, spin.
Nothing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. No,
Exactly.
I get that. I get that, right? But what I'm saying to you is, right, you just said there, right, Arteta's getting rid of all these players. Number one, if we're being really honest, right, us three and the guys in the chat, how do we, no, I'm not saying it's not. No, hear me, right, because Socrates, personally thanked Edu for making this happen, right, for terminating his contracts, right? Why did he not thank Arteta? Right? No, but hear me, but what I'm saying to you, Terry, I'm not saying it's not Arteta, but how do we know? Because anything, according to you, anything good that happens at this club, it's got Mikel Arteta's name all over it. Anything bad that happens at this club, Mikel Arteta is so far away from it, right, that it's untrue. Now that is what I don't get, because either way, this man wins. I don't get that logic. So anything bad that happens, it could have been a bad result. We played poor. Anything off the field. We've signed him to a new contract. You know, one of the players that we just didn't want, right? And let's be honest, there is a chance. We all bang on about, in the summer all these Deadwood players are going. Yeah, would it really surprise you if some of these actually got the contracts? It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. Would it be a shock to not all of them? But if one or two of them, who we thought, right, those two out of all of them, they're the ones who are bang on, right? They are definitely going in the summer. It then comes out they've signed a new 1-year deal. Would it shock you? It wouldn't me. Wouldn't.
Listen.
But I'm just saying though, I'm just saying personally, and I've said it before, right? A rebuild is, whether we like it or not, a rebuild is coming to this club. It has to come. And it's going to come, and it's going to. All right, yeah, but me personally, I don't feel he's the man to oversee it.
That's fine.
I know you do. And I want him to prove me wrong, because, like I said to you, and I said, Kenny Ken, I'm sure will agree as well. It's not personal. I don't dislike Arteta. If anything, I want him to prove me wrong, so I can come on here and everyone go, Diesel, yeah, you said this, you said that.
Diesel, exactly what you just said, right? I understand what you're saying, and you don't agree with. That's fine. That's not a problem. That's an opinion. But just to say, you know what I mean? This is what I mean. Is that when them things are going right, it's like, but do you really believe that it was Arteta that's doing it? Do you really believe it's him doing that? Do you really believe that it's him doing it?
I phrased it, how do we know? I didn't say do you really, because it might be.
I'm not saying it's you. You personally,
no, it's opinions, but I've given you facts as well about Arteta. Facts, and you always find an excuse for him, Terry.
No. Look at the whole picture, Diesel. I'm not making an excuse. That's not an excuse. That's the whole picture. The whole picture is, yes, we're not doing it on the pitch at the moment, but would you say, which you have done, let's be real, you would say that everything behind the scenes at the moment is going in the right direction?
Tell, can I just cut in for 2 seconds? The thing, you made a great point in the whole picture, but you must realise now, and I know I keep on going back to Chelsea, Mikel's very lucky that he's at a club where the people behind the scenes, the fans like yourself, who are probably the majority, do see the whole picture, and they are going to use that phrase. But we've just seen a football club across town in Hammersmith and Fulham that haven't seen the whole picture. There hasn't been any extenuating circumstances, despite the fact that he's a much bigger legend at Chelsea than Arteta, whoever was at Arsenal.
Yes.
Arteta's more of an Everton legend than he's an Arsenal legend. But all I can say, no, I'm not. It's not a criticism. It's not a criticism. All I'm saying is, thank God, Arteta does have people like yourself behind him, and he does have that time to turn it around. And we hope it does work for Arteta. But we can't wait around by May if the position in the league is worse than what it was last season. That's not sustainable, Tel.
No, listen. And that's what I said earlier on, Kenny. We can't have it always because we haven't got the whole package at the moment. And that's what I mean by what I was saying earlier, is that people, let's have it right, every single day saying that the league position is more important than the FA Cup. But then when we go out the FA Cup, now he's got to be sacked because we're gone out the FA Cup. But if he doesn't get top 4 and we won the FA Cup, he's got to be sacked because we didn't get top 4. So it doesn't matter which way you look at it. This is what I'm trying to say. Arteta out crew will always be Arteta out, no matter if we win trophies until we get the top 4 or the champion. That's just being real. That is real. That is real. You've got
but can I just ask you a question, right? You and Kenny, right? You say that. Why has it got to be one or the other? Why can't we go for both? The FA Cup, it's not as if it's a season-long tournament, right? Why can't we go for both? We've proved that we can do it before, so I can't see why we can't go for both. Number 2, right, he made 7 or 8 changes, right? The argument is, a lot of people are saying, could he have made 2 or 3 rather than that many? Yeah. I'm not jumping on Arteta as much as other people, because it's not like he brought in 7, 8 kids, right? He brought in internationals, right? And those, if we're honest, like I said to you, on paper, right, that team should have been good enough to cause more problems, right? Even before I talk about winning, right? It was the manner. I think Kenny would agree, right? That's what we're angry. It's the manner. That's our cup. In fairness, you could argue this is the competition that's probably saved his job, right? And I think a lot of people are saying you've disrespected the cup. A cup in which you won and which it got you credit in the bank, right?
Yeah.
So but then do we beat Southampton tomorrow and then turn around and went, oh, now that we've beat, right, okay, I can see why you did that now. It makes sense. No, that's no problem, Mikel. That's great because we've won tomorrow. And I think that's what it is. I think we can get top 4, and I've always said that to you. If we stop playing square pegs around holes. But what I think and what Mikel thinks are completely 2 different things. So I want to know from him, what do you think we can get top 4? Because if you do, then I can understand a little bit more why you did what you did. But if not, then why did you not go all out to win that cup? That's my argument, Tel. That's what
I've got 2 super chats, and then I've literally got to go. We've been going for a long time.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
But Bargraf has put Diesel and Kenny, Arteta out now or in the summer. And Gio, what's up, guys? Terry, hope you're okay after seeing McGregor get KO'd. I told you, Khalib exposed McGregor, needs to retire. Keep up the great work. Yeah, mate. Listen, I said straight after that fight, I think he should retire. It's going to take him too long to get back and get into a title match. So I totally agree with you, Gio. It's a shame, but he needs to retire now. It's come to that time. Listen, boys, I need to go now. So, Kenny, thank you very much. I'm really glad.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's always good. It's always good to try. It's always good to have an argument, have a debate with a very stubborn man like you. But I love
it. Spare report for me, Kenny. I have to go for this week.
Hey, the good thing about it, right? And Diesel, it's great to see you after a few weeks. I know I've neglected you. I'm really sorry about it. It's just time.
No, silly, mate.
What I will say is that just remember one thing, right? Count yourself lucky that you're at Arsenal Football Club, because the other clubs are more ruthless than us. Because I'll tell you one thing, right? No, we've seen it happen with Ranieri at Leicester. Won the league next season because they thought he was going to get relegated. They said, on your bike. And that's the thing about football. Arsenal fans are too protected because they've had Arsene Wenger here for 20-something years, and Man United fans to a certain extent as well have been protected. But other football, the rest of the world, the rest of football doesn't operate like that. It's just as ruthless as Abramovich, although Abramovich probably does take it to another level. And I have to bid you farewell because I've got to go as well.
Thank you very much, mate. And
see you later, guys.
Listen, speak to you soon, mate.
Cheers, guys.
But
thanks a lot.
Nice one, mate.
Please, speak to you soon, mate. And everyone, thank you very much for coming over. Really appreciate it. And we will be back for tomorrow night's game live watch along. So please come over and give us a watch then. Thanks,
exactly.
Mate.
Exactly. And guys, please start liking our stuff. We're not getting as many as what we'd like. So can we please like, share, and subscribe? We don't ask for much. So please just do that and enjoy it, and obviously get it out there. And another game tomorrow. Tell they're coming thick and fast at the moment. So let's see what tomorrow brings us. So
hopefully, never know.
Yeah, well,
so, exactly. Right, we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much. Stay safe.
Cheers, guys. Later on. Tear out.